Good evening. My name is Lucinda Benegas Carrion, and I am the program manager and a lifestyle coach for the National Diabetes Prevention Program provided by the New Mexico State University Cooperative Extension Service, Department of Extension, Family, and Consumer Sciences. Today, I am here to present an opportunity for individuals 18 and over to participate in a lifestyle change program focused on reducing your risk for type 2 diabetes. We are all familiar with the challenges associated with losing weight and managing stress. And therefore, we are so glad that you were able to join us this evening to learn about wellness support opportunities and share wellness tips. If you are ready to make lasting changes, feel better, and lose weight, you are in the right place. NMSU Extension is devoted to the health of the communities we serve, and the National DPP is an optimal way we have found to do so. I am joined this evening by Laura McCann with the NMSU Kitchen Creations Program. She will be leading tonight's healthy cooking demonstration, which we can look forward to later in the presentation. I would also like to thank our partners for their support of the NMSU Extension National Diabetes Prevention Program, as well as a special thank you to Comagine Health, David Vigil, and Trey Hurd for helping to organize this wellness event. Before we get started, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping items so you'll know how to participate and have the best experience possible. You can listen to this webinar using your computer speakers or call in by phone. Using your computer speakers or headset is recommended for the best quality. At the bottom of your screen, you should see 3 buttons. To the far left is audio settings. In the middle, you will see the Q&A. Clicking audio settings will bring up the audio preferences for this webinar. You can send a test sound to check your speaker and microphone. Be sure that your computer's volume is turned up. While hearing from today's presenters, your microphone will remain muted. After the presentations are over, we will move into a time of Q&A. However, at any point during the webinar, you can submit questions in the Q&A box. To do this, click the Q&A button and a window will appear where you may submit your questions. You can submit questions anonymously or to the whole group. You can keep this window open to view the questions from other participants as well. If you see someone has already submitted a similar question, vote on their question by clicking the thumbs up button so that we can focus on the most popular questions first. There are a lot of people joining us tonight, and I'm sure there will be lots of great questions. We will send a follow-up email with responses to some of the questions we're not able to cover during the time we have tonight. If you are having any technical difficulties, we have moderators who can help you via the Q&A box. Today's webinar will be recorded. The slides and recording will be posted on the NMSU YouTube channel. The link will also be provided in a follow-up email, which will be sent out approximately 2 weeks after the event. Now that we've covered the housekeeping items, we'd like to hear from you. We will start this evening by asking you to participate in the poll visible on your screen. You may select more than one answer. What we'd like to know is, what motivated you to join our wellness event? I'm ready to make a lifestyle change and need support. I'm overweight and I'm ready to do something about it. I have a family history of type 2 diabetes. My healthcare practitioner has told me I have prediabetes. I am not as physically active as I'd like to be. I am stressed and I need support, or other. Again, feel free to select all that apply.
We still have responses coming in.
Okay. Great, so we have received some of our responses with what motivated you to join our wellness event. And many of you said, I'm ready to make lifestyle changes and want support. Others have said, I'm overweight and I'm ready to do something about it, as well as I have a family history of type 2 diabetes. These are all wonderful reasons why you're here tonight, and we're happy to be here with you. So the purpose of tonight's event is to encourage wellness and chronic disease prevention. We want you to leave here today with a better understanding of prediabetes and how you can delay or avoid type 2 diabetes. You will learn about the National Diabetes Prevention Program, and we'll leave here today with a few healthy and delicious recipes to try at home. So let's talk for a minute about prediabetes and how to determine your risk for type 2 diabetes. Developing type 2 diabetes is a long road and can be interrupted at any point. You may be someone who has received a blood test result through your healthcare provider or community health event by having taken an A1C test, fasting blood glucose test, or glucose tolerance test. Your results would have placed you into one of three categories identified in the colored arrows to the left of your screen: normal, having prediabetes, or being diagnosed with diabetes. The importance of knowing your risk and/or diagnosis is a key factor in order to act to improve your health and eliminate further complications associated with type 2 diabetes. However, many of us have not seen a healthcare provider or identify as being an individual at risk, which is why out of 96 million American adults who have prediabetes, more than 8 out of 10 do not know that they have it. Prediabetes is when your blood sugar level is higher than normal, but not high enough to be type 2 diabetes. In our nation, diabetes among adults has tripled in the past 2 decades, and by 2050, it is anticipated that 1 in 3 adults in the US could have diabetes. People with type 2 diabetes are also at risk for additional health conditions such as loss of limbs, kidney failure, blindness, heart attack, and stroke. Without the proper knowledge and understanding of how to act, many times we become overwhelmed and do not know where to turn, especially if we have not seen our healthcare provider. However, our prediabetes risk test is a quick way to determine where you stand, and we will provide you with a link to the risk test later in this program. But no matter your method, a simple solution to reducing your risk is the National Diabetes Prevention Program, also known as the National DPP. So what is the National Diabetes Prevention Program and how can it help you? The National DPP is an evidence-based lifestyle change program led by trained lifestyle coaches who assist and motivate participants to lose between 4 and 7% of their body weight, increase their physical activity to 150 minutes per week, make changes in their nutrition intake, and lead an overall healthier life. The National DPP is a 1-year long, which includes 16 consecutive sessions and an additional 8 monthly sessions, each lasting only 1 hour of your day. The program uses a CDC-approved curriculum and is monitored by CDC to ensure quality and adherence to scientific standards. Each participant will receive a manual and weight scale to follow along and track their progress. Additionally, our program is community-based, which means that you will be placed in small groups that allow you to receive support from individuals with similar health-related experiences and goals. Our lifestyle coaches are trained to provide the best possible experience during your journey to a healthier lifestyle. Even after 10 years, individuals who participated in the earlier lifestyle change program had a 34% lower rate of type 2 diabetes. The National DPP is available to individuals who meet the following eligibility requirements. You are 18 years of age or older, are overweight, have not been diagnosed with type 1 or type 2 diabetes, and are not currently pregnant. Additionally, you may have been diagnosed with prediabetes, previously diagnosed with gestational diabetes, or received a high-risk result on the risk test. Additional factors include having a family history of diabetes, being physically inactive, being 35 years old and over, as well as your race and ethnicity. Joining a national DPP lifestyle change program is a simple and straightforward way to prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. You have more energy, feel better, and live your best life. You can act now by enrolling in one of our class series. In fact, active participants can prevent or delay type 2 diabetes by 58%, and all because they decided to take the first step by joining the program. NMSU Extension provides national DPP in both English and Spanish. Face-to-face and distance education options are also available. National DPP is both community-focused and partners with organizations for worksite programming. We have the ability to be flexible and help you fit this valuable opportunity into your life. And the fantastic part is that it is available at no cost. The National DPP and its lifestyle coaches are here to help you take charge, understand your risk, and know where to turn to prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. For those of you on the call who may already have type 2 diabetes, NMSU Extension provides additional programming that can better serve your needs. Some of our programs include On the Road to Living Well with Diabetes, Chronic Disease Self-Management, and our very popular Kitchen Creations, a class series focused on nutrition and cooking for adults with diabetes. Participants learn how to plan and prepare meals that manage carbs and promote heart health, a technique that we will also learn about today during our cooking demonstration. A link to our website has been put in the chat and will be included in our follow-up materials. For anyone interested in learning more about these programs for people with type 2 diabetes. It is just about that time to begin our healthy cooking segment with Laura McCann. I'd like to remind everyone to continue to submit questions in the Q&A. We will answer some of the most popular questions after this segment. Don't forget to give a thumbs up in the Q&A for questions you like the most. Now, how many of you worry about being able to cook meals that taste good and are healthy? At times, it can seem too hard or complicated. I know that I fall into that trap often. The good news is that it doesn't have to be this way. Laura McCann from Kitchen Creations is here to show us a scrumptious recipe to get you started. We'll share a link to this recipe in the chat box and in the follow-up email you'll receive after this event. Take it away, Laura.
Thank you, Lucinda. Thank you for having me here tonight, everybody. I'm glad to join you. And tonight I'm excited to share a recipe with you, Chile Relleno Casserole. This is one of our favorites from the Kitchen Creations cooking class, and it's a great healthy alternative to traditionally prepared chile rellenos. Now, before we begin, I want to remind everybody that it's important to keep a clean and safe cooking environment. And so before I started, I made sure all of my surfaces were clean. I washed all of my produce, and of course I washed my hands. So let's get started. This recipe is a really healthy recipe to compare to traditional chile rellenos, which have 334 calories per serving. This recipe has only 120 calories per serving. And whereas traditional chile rellenos have 24 grams of fat per serving, this recipe has only 1.5 grams of fat. So you can see how it would support your goals. I saw a lot of you in the survey are interested in losing some weight, preventing diabetes. making a recipe that's a healthy alternative to a traditional favorite is a great way to start. So let's get going. Okay, so let's take a look at our ingredients. We are going to use 6 roasted and peeled green chilies split in half. And these smell so good, I can't tell you, I roasted them myself last night. We've got 1 cup of pepper jack or mozzarella cheese shredded, 2 egg whites, 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar, 1/4 cup of 1% milk, so that's a low-fat milk, 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 whole egg. And we're gonna start by turning on our oven and setting it at 350 degrees. Baking is a low-fat cooking method, so it's a great way to prepare dishes without using a lot of oil or grease. This is one way that our recipe tonight ends up being a lot lower in fat and calories than traditional Chile rellenos, which of course are fried. So we're going to prepare our pan with some cooking spray. This is a canola oil cooking spray. And we're going to layer the bottom with our roasted chilies. Chilies are a great source of vitamin C and fiber. So use all the chili you want. Of course, in New Mexico, we love our chili, so that's usually not a problem. Okay, and then we're gonna top that with about half of our cheese. So about a 1/2 cup of the shredded cheese. I've got shredded mozzarella here, so that'll be really good. Okay. The next step is to beat our egg whites with the cream of tartar. So we've got our egg whites and the cream of tartar. The sound is going to mute while I beat the egg whites. I'm going to beat these until they're at a stiff peak. That's going to help give structure to our dish, so we have a nice fluffy dish after we bake it. All right, so we can see that this is a stiff peak. It stands up straight. So we've got the right consistency. Our next step is to combine our flour and milk. And we're going to mix these up until they're nice and smooth. The flour and milk do add a little bit of carbohydrate to this meal, but it helps give structure to the dish. So like I said, this is going to be a lovely, fluffy dish with the egg. It's going to add a lot of volume. And with the egg, we're using egg whites. Now we are going to add 1 whole egg, and we'll mix that in. But that's only 1 egg for the whole recipe. Eggs are a wonderful, economical source of protein. And so think of eggs not only for breakfast, but for lunches or dinners too. Okay, that's nice and smooth. Next, we're going to fold our egg mixture into the flour and milk mixture. Now folding, we don't want to beat this in because we went to all the work of adding the air to the egg whites, and that's what's going to help keep this nice and light and airy. So we don't want to beat that air out of the egg whites. Folding, you bring the spatula around the bowl and through the middle, around and through. And that's folding. So we're going to keep our air while still mixing our egg whites with our flour and milk mixture. And we want to do this until it's completely incorporated. That's looking good. Okay, we're ready to continue building our dish. So we're going to put half of our egg mixture onto our chilies and cheese. We'll just spread that around. So that we've got a good uniform layer. Now we're going to add more chilies, just as we did when we started. A single layer of our roasted green chilies. There we go. And we'll top off with the rest of our cheese. Another ½ cup of mozzarella or pepper jack if you want a little extra kick. Now cheese does have some saturated fat, but we're not using a whole lot, and it is contributing some protein to our recipe. We're gonna finish with another layer of our egg mixture. Spread that around. And we're ready to bake. We're gonna bake that in the oven, as I said, set at 350 degrees for about 25 minutes until it's set and firm and the top is a golden color. And with the magic of video, now I have a prepared dish here and you can see how it turns out. So a serving of the Chile Relleno casserole is a quarter of the recipe. So you can see it's a generous serving size. And this is going to provide 15 grams of protein. And this dish is great at any meal. You can eat it for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And it's a wonderful, heart-healthy alternative to traditionally prepared chile rellenos. Now, where it's important to know how to prepare a healthy recipe, it's also important to know how to balance meals, how to round them out. And what I like to use is the rule of 3. And that is incorporating protein, protein, starch, and vegetables at each meal. Usually fat is part of the protein food naturally. And so that's nothing new, but you'll be surprised. I talk with a lot of people. I work in the clinical world too. I talk with a lot of people about what they eat. And oftentimes people are missing the vegetables. So I want to share a few other recipes that we prepare in the Kitchen Creations classes so that you've got a good idea of what a well-rounded meal looks like and how this dish can be a part. So here I've made a really simple salad. It's simply romaine lettuce, cucumbers, and tomatoes. And to top it off, I'm going to use some fresh lime juice. This will give it a nice bright flavor. There we go. And I'm going to add a serving of our chile relleno casserole. You can see that's a really generous portion there. This is a large plate. And I also made some Spanish rice. This is another recipe from the cookbook. Now, for people with diabetes, 1/3 of a cup is 1 serving of rice. I have 1/2 cup here because we don't have a lot of other starch or carbohydrate in this meal. And so a little more is going to be okay. So there we have it, our vegetables, our starch, and our protein. Wonderful meal. We've got mostly vegetables here. There's some tomato and onion in the rice, of course, the chilies and the relleno casserole. So we're really heavy on the veggies here, which is a great strategy to use when you're looking to manage your blood sugar levels, keep your heart healthy, and lose weight. But that's not all. We're going to have dessert too. Let me move my camera to show you one of our other favorites. This is mangoes and cream. It features fresh seasonal fruit. Mangoes and strawberries are both in season right now, which makes them, they're the most flavorful when they're in season and also at the best price. So first I mixed low-fat vanilla yogurt with a couple teaspoons of brown sugar and a little bit of almond extract, which gives it a wonderful flavor. And I'm gonna put some of this in a dessert dish. And all I'm gonna do is top that with 4 slices of mango. And here I have fresh strawberries that I simply put in the blender to make a puree. This is pure strawberry. And we'll add a little bit of toasted slivered almonds. And there you have it, a nutritious dessert. It's gonna have a lot of calcium, more vitamin C, some fiber. It's a great, satisfying dessert that has wonderful flavor. So I hope you can join us for some of the Kitchen Creations classes so that you'll be able to prepare some of these recipes along with us and take them home. Thank you so much for joining us. Lucinda, we're gonna go back to you for the Q&A. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much, Laura, for that wonderful cooking demonstration. Everything looks absolutely delicious and it's healthy too. I can't wait to try it here at home. It just looks great. We have many great questions coming into the Q&A. Thank you for those. Some of you submitted questions when you registered, which my colleague Milena will read to us in just a moment. We'd like to take a few minutes to focus on the most popular questions coming through. Responses to any of the other questions we don't get to will be included in the follow-up email.
Okay, so our first question is going to be for you, Laura. So we have a couple of questions in the Q&A regarding our cooking demonstration. So the first question was, can you use whole wheat flour?
Yes, the flour in this recipe is only to give a little more structure to the egg so that it holds up and doesn't get flat while we're baking it. Whole wheat flour would be fine for that.
Great. Our next question would be for Lucinda. How much does this program cost?
This program is free of charge as long as you are ready to join our program and take the next step in changing your lifestyle and living a healthier lifestyle. We are here to help you.
Great. And our next question is for Laura. For an egg allergy, is there something else that you can use in place of eggs?
Oh, that's a good question. So the eggs in this dish are pretty important because they really are the basis for, you know, that fluffy texture that we end up with. There are some great egg substitutes for baked goods and a lot of dishes like that. Things like just pureed banana or ground flaxseed mixed with some warm water. You can even buy powdered egg substitutes. For this dish, it would be difficult to make it without the eggs. I'd have to do a little research and probably some experimentation to see if there may be other ways that it could be done.
Okay, great. How is the best way to lose weight and have a happier life?
Definitely, if you are somebody who has been either diagnosed or who is at risk for type 2 diabetes and has been told you have prediabetes, joining a program such as the National Diabetes Prevention Program can be extremely helpful. It puts you in a support group setting for individuals who can really, you know, kind of move along with you and take those steps to a healthier lifestyle. Laura, do you have any additional thoughts?
I agree. I think it's really important to use your resources, and programs like the National Diabetes Prevention Program, other supporting programs such as Kitchen Creations are free of charge and just are a wonderful supportive environment where you're going to learn the skills you need and get the tools you need to be successful. And we know that because these programs have been researched and proven to be effective.
Great. Our next question is, I have family members in other states and overseas. Can they participate in this program?
Absolutely. Just going to our links, you know, we do have opportunities that are distance education that can be done through Zoom. And in some cases, we can actually point you in the right direction to partners who are delivering the National Diabetes Program or any of the other programs that might better suit you. It's just as easy as reaching out to us through the links and contact information that we provide.
Our next question is, can we add some spices to the egg mixture like garlic and onion powder?
No problem. If you're using garlic or onion powder, I would mix them in when you're mixing the flour and milk together. That's a great idea. Feel free to play with the recipes. Once you know what you're doing, you can, you know, if you have a different cheese on hand, you can substitute that. It's important to have fun with it and make it, you know, make it to your taste and preferences.
Great. And our next question is, how do you join the program?
We'll actually be covering that in the last portion of our program. So if you stay tuned, we'll get to that here shortly.
Great. Our next question is, can you add salsa to the casserole, sauteed onions, tomato sauce, and oregano? It looks a bit dry.
You absolutely could. I think topping it with salsa when you're eating it would be great. If you wanted to add some other sauteed vegetables like onions, go ahead and put those on the layer with the green chili. And the dish actually does not taste dry. It is really moist with the eggs and the milk in there and the chili. It does turn out to be, you know, a great texture. But feel free, like I said, to add more vegetables, herbs, and spices. Those are great ways to modify the recipe while still keeping it healthy.
Great. Our last question for tonight is how many people are in each group on average?
It really depends. We're looking for anywhere from about 8 people, and sometimes even we have classes up to about 15 to 18 people. It really depends on the type of community setting, whether we're doing virtual or face-to-face. And, you know, there's always going to be opportunities to enroll people to provide the best support to everyone who needs it.
Great. And one more question that did come in is, does Kitchen Creations have a Facebook page?
Go ahead, Laura. I didn't know if you wanted to take that one.
So the best place to find information on Kitchen Creations, and you know, I'm not sure if they have a Facebook page, to be honest. I usually go to the NMSU ACES website, and that's where I find information on upcoming classes as well as registration links.
And that link to our website can actually be found in the follow-up emails, as well as it is getting posted in the chat if it hasn't already been. And
that is our questions for tonight.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. With that, we'll move into the final part of our event this evening. Now, at this point, you may find yourself in one of 3 places. You may have decided the National DPP is not for you, and we want to thank you for attending tonight. Please keep our other NMSU Extension programs in mind. Again, you'll see a link in our chat box to explore these opportunities. Some of you may be on the fence about joining the National DPP, and we can fully understand your position. We are here to help you make the decision that is right for you. Commitment is key in making any lifestyle change, and we want to support you in making the decision to participate. If you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. Our email and phone number are in the chat and will be included in the follow-up materials. For those of you who are ready to join, congratulations. You are interested in the National DPP and all that it has to offer. We have the following class series available to you. We encourage you to join the class that fits your lifestyle. However, if for some reason the options don't work for you, please reach out to us for additional opportunities. Registration is easy and can be done in one of 2 ways. You can either reach out to us and we will walk you through the registration process, or you can register yourself online. This is an example of what the registration form looks like. The form will automatically pop up on your screen at the end of our presentation and take only a couple of minutes to complete. Even if one of the class series does not work for you, please complete the form anyway so that we have your information for future opportunities. We look forward to working with you to making a lasting lifestyle change. Also, following tonight's event, you will receive an email with a link to an event survey. Your feedback is incredibly valuable, and we'd like to know how you enjoyed our wellness event. If you don't see the email, check your spam or junk folder, as it may be there. Thank you in advance for taking a few minutes to let us know how we did and what we could improve for next time. A recording of tonight's presentation will be posted to the NMSU YouTube channel. A link to the recording as well as the presentation slides will be emailed to you within the next 2 weeks. Please feel free to share them with friends and family and let them know what NMSU Extension has available to them. Once again, I'd like to thank Laura for tonight's wonderful cooking demonstration and our partners Comagine Health and Paso del Norte Health Foundation for their continued support. Thank you again for joining us. We hope you enjoyed tonight's event. We look forward to seeing you again at future events and class series. Again, please do not hesitate to reach out to us with any questions. And for those who will be joining our National DPP session, we look forward to seeing you soon. Until next time, have a great night.